Okay, let's start from where we left in the last recording. So in the last recording, we saw how we integrated LangGraph Cloud with my GitHub repo, and then we wrote the LangGraph flow, and then we initiated deployment of that LangGraph flow in by creating a new deployment. So after the deployment, so this is the after the completion of the deployment, this is what has been created. So this is the link through which I can now go to LangGraph Studio and test out the deployed app. This is the shareable app link, which will see how we can use this now to programmatically access the LangGraph workflow. And if I click on this, right, we can go to our deployment status. So if you see my first deployment failed, right? The first deployment failed because I forgot to, okay, so not here. You can see it under revisions. So if I go to revisions, this is the first deployment which failed. Oops, the logs are no longer there. Where are the logs? Okay, so I think since it is still in alpha beta, the logs are removed. But why it failed was because I forgot to give the Open API OpenAI API key as a environment variable, right? So what I did is I deployed it, and before redeploying it, uh, so basically I created a new revision for this, and when I clicked on revision, this is the uh, pop-up that I got where I provided the OpenAPI key under the environment variable, and then I uh, started the deployment, and then the it got correctly deployed, right? So now if I go back to deployment and click on LangGraph Studio, I can see my deployed flow now, right? So the use case, if you remember, we ask a question to the generate agent. The generate agent then gives it to the critic agent. Critic agent looks at the question, suggests improvement, asks generate agent to recreate, right? This goes on for 4 times before it ends, right? So let's test it out. And some of the beautiful features we'll see as part of this testing. So let's say, as a human, I say, where is, okay, let me say, where is, I fell. Or let me give it something like, why is Taj Mahal famous, right? I submit this now. See, the generate agent was on focus. It created, right? It gave it to critic agent. It went back to generate agent. I can visualize how the workflow is working now, right? That is one of the beautiful features that I see, right? So it is going back and forth, right? That I'm able to see. So it'll continue talk for 4 times, and it is in every iteration, it is trying to improve the answer, right? So finally it is done, right? So finally, this is what I got, right? The interactions between between these two agents. The other beautiful feature of this is now from here, I can go to the trace as well. So first of all, at each level, I can see how many tokens, right? What the cost of each, right? That I can see. Then I can go to open trace, right? Here now I can also look at the individual agents, what went in, what went out, right? If there would have been a error, right, I could come here and see why the error happened, right? And then further change my workflow and then further deploy it, right? So this integration is something that I found good, right? So from Langsmith, I can go back to again LangGraph Studio, right? And continue to look at things, right? I still need to do a lot of exploration because I have not yet seen right? What does this checkpoint does, right? This probably is the shared state. Let me see. So yeah, so this one I still need to test it out, right? So this probably is the checkpoint, the shared state checkpoint. Edit is okay. So here I can this I probably need to explore this. I think is the playback, right? I can go back to a particular step in the workflow. I can test it out, right? So if this is the playback feature, this is again a very beautiful feature, right? I can uh, replay things and all, right? So these are the things I still need to explore, right? But what we have seen is after we deploy this, how through LangGraph Studio, I can test out my workflow and all, right? If everything is fine, then yeah, then the final deployment happens and I get the app that needs to be shared, that can be shared and programmatically access this. Right? This is the one that we'll see now, right? So I thought earlier we'll make it two different recordings, but I think in the same recording we can see how this deployed app URL we can use to programmatically access the multi-agent system, the LangGraph workflow, right? So this is basically this part here is what we'll see. Create a program access the app, right? So for that, let me go to my um, Python program. So here, uh, okay, so this is not it. This is in my LangGraph examples package, right? So here, this is the code that I have written. And for that, you need LangGraph underscore SDK. This SDK is required. Once you have the SDK, so what I have done here is, so the other thing is you need Langsmith. So the Langsmith API key, you should mention here. This is the URL, right? This is the, so if I go back to this, right? This one is same as this, right? This URL is the URL that will hit to programmatically access this workflow, right? And this is my input message. So we'll say Y is, this time, let's say Y is Eiffel Tower famous, right? And then okay, say search agent, right? Yeah. So then I do so these are deployed as client.assistant.search. I search it. And since I have only one assistant right now, I'm doing assistant, the first assistant here, right? What I'm not sure, which I need to actually, so right now I cannot experiment it because one with the plus, like because in open beta, I can only have one deployment, right? If I have two deployments, how do I identify which agent, right? So probably it's by the graph ID, because when I deployed, I gave the graph ID name as agent, right? But right now, since I have one deployment, right, I am able to pick up the first assistant here, right? And then I'm creating a thread for this workflow, for this conversation, or for this workflow execution. This thread and assistant is what I'm passing into the run assistant right now, because the run assistant gets the assistant and the thread and runs it as a stream, right? Where I give the thread ID, the assistant ID, input is this, and then the stream mode equal to updates. I'm not sure what that is right now, but I'll find out. I need to do some more exploration with this, right? So this stream mode equal to updates, I need to find out what are the different other stream modes available, right? And then I am streaming the chunks for each chunk in the chunks, right? Print the chunk. So let me run this, right? So if, oops, no, okay. So the URL changed, right? So I need to take the new URL. So I copied it. Now let me run it. So now it has started. See, the first is the generate agent is giving the answer. The critic agent is giving a response. The generate agent again took it, that critic agent, it will go on for 4 times and then end it, right? So this is how, after deploying the LangGraph workflow, I can now take this URL, and now I can integrate this with my existing process or create a new process out of it, or even integrate a conversational AI using it, right? So that's what I wanted to show as part of LangGraph Cloud. I'm going to explore this feature more, um, and find out more capabilities as I explore. Thank you.